What's happening?
Hello everyone, I'm Sandylu Guerrero of Life's Trace Coaching, your transformational business and life coach. Welcome to my show, Transform Your Life with Sandylu and Friends, with my very special guest today, Trevor Ramos.
How's it going?
Hi everyone. We're going to give you guys a few seconds to log in. I'm going to also log in on my tablet so I could make sure I can check all your messages as you log in. So,
right. I'm going to share the stream.
Make sure you share. So if you're just getting on, remember to share. All right, make sure you share.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. So Trevor Ramos is going to share some very valuable information. So if you have any kids, or if you have any family that has kids, whether they're just born or are getting ready to go to high school, you definitely want to join us this evening, because he's going to give you some great information to get prepared so that you could be able to have money for college for your child. You don't want to end up at a position where you're doing financially well enough to live good, but not financially well enough to pay for college, right? So
that's a common thing.
Yeah, so that's a very, very common thing, and there's less and less financial aid, and they're always cutting back on that. So you want to make sure that you join us today. Again, hi, Jonathan Guerrero over there, my nephew in Vegas. He's starting his senior year this year. He took his senior portrait. Hey, Luis Hernandez, Armando Lincoln. Hey, make sure you listen to this, Armando. Your sons will go to college soon. Time is flying. Hello, Ali in San Diego. I know Ali from junior high school.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Hey, all right, so welcome to my show, Transform Your Life with Sandylu and Friends. If you just got on, please remember to share and give us some likes, some hearts. We appreciate them. We can never have too much love or too many likes. And also remember to share, because this is very valuable. This is all about supporting you to create an extraordinary life. So if you could save money, or your family, loved one, friend could save money because of this video, you definitely want to make sure that you share it, because Trevor's going to give you some great insight. He walks the talks and talks the walk, and he actually wrote a book on all the things that are going to support you in getting money for college. But not only that, and Trevor's an entrepreneur. He's an entrepreneur, and so he's going to talk about his journey as well. So I'm going to wait a few seconds before we really get in there. Also, if you have any comments, any questions, please check in, send them to us as well, and let us know where you're watching us from. Give us a hello, buenas noches, whatever, in any language. We might not understand it, but love is love, right?
Yes.
Love is love.
Yes.
Hello, Ricardo. Hello, Celia. Hi, everyone. So if I'm looking to the side, it might seem a little weird. I'm trying a slightly different setup than usual. We're a little bit closer. Let me know what you think, because I usually do the videos a little bit further. So, your feedback is greatly appreciated. One of my mentors suggested it, so I'm giving it a try, and we'll be checking on it later. But anyway, my show is all about supporting you in creating an extraordinary life. And sometimes when we make simple little changes or start implementing different ideas, or a different way of looking at things, different perspective, a different mindset, and start changing the past to the present, to the future, then we can really create great things in our life, and not only for us, but our loved ones and our community, and ultimately our world. So that is what Transform Your Life with Sandylu and Friends is all about, is giving you some perspective, insight, information, tips, etc., that are going to have you create an extraordinary life. So anyway, here's my friend Trevor Ramos.
How's it going?
Welcome to my show. Thank you so much for joining me today. I met you like about a year ago, maybe a little bit over a year ago, at a networking event, and right away we connected, and you invited me to your office, and we talked in your office, and you gave me some great tips. I had told you, I quit my full-time job, and I'm doing this full-time now. So you gave me some great information, and I really appreciate it, and I'm all about supporting. And so, I've sent you some people, and people have been, and people have actually been like, oh, thank you for sending him to me and connecting me with Trevor. So I'm like, great, like when we met, I knew that I can trust you, and you're going to take care of my people. And so that's why, I wanted you to join me here. So anyway, I'm going to have I'm going to say hi. I'll be saying hi and checking on your comments as we go. So if I look weird, it's because the comments are over here. I'm looking
This
at
is
them
actually
here.
pretty hard to do.
If you came to my space, you would see the setup, and it could be a little overwhelming for some people. Especially, I'm doing this all the time. Celia says hello, Trevor.
Hey Celia, how are you?
Hello, Patricia. Hello, Stephanie. Hello, Celia, Armando, Alejandra, Jonathan. Okay, hi everybody. Okay, remember to share, guys. If you're getting on, remember to share. Sharing is caring.
Right.
It's all about creating an extraordinary life and giving you some information. Maybe you don't have any kids in school, but your kids, we're going to be having kids. So the more you know about things, the more you can help each other.
Right.
Hello, Brenda Valeriano Fates, I think it is. All right, so now let's talk about Trevor. So Trevor is an author, and so he authored this book called How to Get Free Money for College. So before we go into how he got all the money for college and how he helps families get money for college, I want to know a little bit more about Trevor and, you know, his journey. Like, where did he grow up? How old is he? Where is he from? You know, all that good stuff. And just, you know, what had him start all of this? So, so how about you tell us a little bit about you, Trevor?
Well, yeah, so my name's Trevor Ramos, and I am basically an expert on getting scholarships and grants and getting kids accepted to expensive universities. So I mainly focus on helping parents of 9th, 10th, and 11th graders who want to go to a top 4-year college, and not just helping them to get in there, but to get a lot of money to do so. My background, I went to Boston University, but I didn't have the best grades. I had a 2.8 GPA when I was in high school. I thought I was going to play football, but basically I was too short to play wide receiver in all these places. So I had to buckle down, get my grades up, and then I ended up, you know, at the very last second getting it all together and getting $165,000 to go to Boston University, which is a school that I wanted to go to. It was definitely a tough time for me because I didn't even think I was going to get accepted to colleges, but let alone get a scholarship, and, you know, it turned around for me, and it can do the same for anyone that follows the advice that I share in my book.
All right, so cool. So now you were telling me that you your background is from Belize, right? That's where Ramos comes from,
Yep,
which I
yep.
think is really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool, because
Yeah. So yeah, some people get a kick out of that. My name is Trevor Ramos, and they go, "How do you come up with Trevor and then Ramos?" Well, you know, in Belize, you know, we have English first names, and then we have Latino last names, and I represent a sect of people called Garifuna people, which we're really only in Honduras and Guatemala and Belize, and both my parents are from Belize, and I've lived there a couple times in my life. It's a beautiful place to go, and for you, probably that'd be like a great vacation. For me, it's someplace I go all the time, so it's a, you know, great place for me.
cool. I'm gonna have to tag along.
Yeah, come through. I got you.
Yeah, that sounds cool to me. All right, so. All right, and so, but you said you were raised, you were born in New York?
Yeah, I was born in Brooklyn, so just straight up Brooklyn person, Brooklyn guy, and then actually my mom, she worked for Credit Suisse, which is an investment bank, and she was working a lot of long hours, and it was tough for her to raise me, so I was raised with my grandmother in Belize. She would take me to church every day, and that's how I learned how to sing and all kinds of things.
Wait, you sing?
Yeah.
You might
I
have
try
to
not to
sing a
be
little
famous
verse
over my
for us.
singing, but yeah, I like to sing, you know. So yeah, she would take me to church, and then my mother became a teacher, just like a regular preschool teacher, and she would pick me up from school every day, and that's, you know, kind of how I was raised in New York. And then I moved to Los Angeles, and then I went to middle school and high school here, and then I went off to Boston for college.
Okay, great. So you've been all over the place.
Yeah, I'm one of those people, yeah.
But very cool. I mean, it's just very different cultures. The way, I mean, New York, Bronx is very different than LA for sure.
Yep.
And most definitely very different from Belize and LA.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, like it's just
Yeah.
very different, which
Yeah.
is really cool.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you thought were cool about, or do you think have helped you being
About
in
Brooklyn?
those different environments?
Well, definitely, if you've lived in a lot of places, I'm, you know, people always think that the grass is greener on the other side, but I always looked at the people that went to the same high school from kindergarten to 12th grade, and I was like, I want to have, you know the same people, and I want to, you know, feel like I've lived in one town. I've always moved, you know, and it made me someone who's very quick at making friends, someone who was very good at making an impression, and it made me very comfortable in whatever environment that I was in, which I think kind of helped me.
Oh, that's good, and especially now that you're dealing with a lot of different people, different backgrounds, different financial status, etc. Yeah, definitely. So now let's talk about when you were in high school. So I know that this is part of how you got started in this journey and how you wrote the book. But what had you do the research? Because I know you shared with me, but how did you get started in getting your own money? Because you did the work. Okay. No one did it for you, and you were how old?
At the time, I was 16 years old. So basically, this is how it went down. I didn't have the best grades. Like I said, I had a 2.8 GPA in high school. I played sports, so I would just work out, and I thought that's how I was going to get a scholarship. And then I sat in my counselor's office, and I told them, I gave her 2 lists of colleges. I gave her a list of colleges if I was going to play football, and I gave her a list of colleges if I was going to just study. And list of colleges if I was going to play football were going to be like University of Texas and USC. These are Division I football schools. And then the list academically were like Yale and Princeton and Stanford. All of these schools required a 4.0, and I had a 2.8 GPA. So somebody needed to tell me what was going to happen, and I really wasn't ready for it. So she told me, you know what, your best bet is to go to a junior college, get your grades up, and then you'll be able to go to a 4-year. Maybe you might be able to get into one of the Cal States. And it was just, I wanted to see what all the possibilities were for me, and I felt like my choices were limited. So that was a wake-up call for me. I just basically spent, like, as we're sitting here, I'm seeing a lot of books that, I've kind of seen, right? So my parents would drop me off at the bookstore, they dropped me off at the library, and I would just take books off the shelf and I would read them. They would be books on how to get better grades, how to study for the SAT, how to have a better relationship with your teacher. And basically after doing that for so many times, I started to get pretty good and get pretty motivated. One of the biggest books that I read actually was Think and Grow Rich. And Think and Grow Rich, if you're not familiar with that book, that's a book that shows you basically the strength of determination, the strength of desire, the strength of basically sacrifice. And for someone who's 16 years old and has a goal in mind, it may not have been to start a business at the time, but it was whatever I need to do, I'm going to make it happen. So it just taught me to set a specific goal for myself, and pretty much nothing was going to stand in my way. And after a while, everyone started to realize this kid is serious, like he really wants to do this. And I would apply to schools that I didn't even think I was going to get into. I just wanted to turn in an application. And some of them could feel the ambition, they could feel the determination, and they just couldn't say no.
That's great. No, but it's something that grows in you. That's in you. It's like it's a yearning. It's a passion. Right. It's like it's not either or. It's like it's happening. You're already like there. Right. Would you say that was kind of like how you...
Yeah, well, it's like, I don't know, I'm just one of those people where if you tell me that I can't do something, then I want to do it. And if you tell me how hard it's going to be, then it motivates me even more. I'm not one to say, okay, well, there's definitely, no course. Everyone goes through situations that are overwhelming, and I am no exception to that. But I've always kind of known, basically, to make it cliche, like where there's a will, there's a way. There's got to be a way to make it happen. It may not be obvious. It may not be the straight up the middle. There's got to be a workaround if you ask enough people, and you'll find out. That's kind of how it works.
Asking a lot of people, and that's
you just keep talking.
That's the hard part. People sometimes don't want to ask, or they'll take what the counselor says, and because I know you said the counselors, they were helpful to a point, I would imagine.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and I love the counselors. The thing is that, you don't know how hard someone's willing to work for what they have. You might just want to tell them, based on where you're at right now, this is what your grade point average is. This is what you're going to get into. Actually, my senior year, I ended up with a 4.2 grade point average. Why? Because I realized that I needed to have that kind of grade point average to go to college. And I was willing to do all the stuff. But if no one's telling you, like, hey, these are the things you have to do, then you won't know, and you won't really know if what you're doing is even going to be good enough for you to get what you want. And that's the thing too, is you gotta, sometimes I talk to students and I ask them, like, what schools do you want to go to? And they don't want to say that I want to go to UCLA. They'll say I want to go to you know, some other school that they really don't want to go to. And if you're willing to say, look, I want to go to this school and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get there, if you have enough time, there's nothing that's off limits. You know, that's the thing. You need enough time to get a running start. And if you got that, sky's the limit for you. I really don't think that at any university I've been to, anybody I've ever talked to, that I felt like they had something over me that I couldn't get if I really wanted it bad enough. You know?
I love that you say that, because I just had a conversation a few days ago with one of my nephews that is going into his junior year, and we're talking about, you know, what he wants to do when he gets out of school. Is he going to go to college, or what is he? We don't, like, in our family, we're very big on, you know, that everybody's path is different.
Sure.
You know, not everybody has to go to college.
Absolutely. Yeah.
However, you know, choose something that you really want, not because you know what, I don't want to do the work, or I'm gonna settle for this life because it just seems the easier route. But like, really, you know, choose what's gonna make you what you truly want, and be willing and committed to do whatever it takes. And so that's the conversation I had with him.
That's
it's
awesome.
like, look, whatever you want to do, as long as, you know, you just ask yourself, is this the life I'm settling for because it's easier and I don't want to do the work, or do I really want, you know, the mansions and the, you know, the yachts and etc. And, you know, am I going to do the work? You know, because I think that a lot of us fall into career paths, or by default, or by convenience, or because, you know, we feel like we have to take care of the family, etc. Different reasons, you know. And I'm not knocking it, but what happens is that then you get caught up in that redundant life that you never really wanted, that was not your dream job, your dream career, etc. And you never get to where you really want to go ever, you know. And then there's people that find a way, even if they're doing their full-time 8 to 5, that, you know, pays the bills, or start creating their own thing, and go back to college, right? And things like that. So I think everybody's path is different, but I think that, like you said, you know, if it's what you really want, you know, it's a commitment beyond convenience.
Yeah, it's just whatever it is. If you want to start a business, if you want to become a personal brand, if you want to write a book, if you want to, you know, make a change in your career, if you want to go to your dream college, if you want to have the shape that you're at, it's the same process that you have to take. It's first, you got to be really clear on, this is what I want. And it's hard enough sometimes just to say, this is what I want, right? I want to have, you know, this going on for me. I want to have this kind of house. I want to have this kind of business. I want to have these kinds of revenues. And just to be able to see it in black and white, and to say, this is what I'm working towards, and I'm going to make it happen regardless, that is the first step. And there's a lot of fear that goes around that. It's like, am I good enough for that? Am I worthy of that goal? And really, it's not about, is this goal of, say, if you want to do $1 million a year, is $1 million worthy of me? No. Like, or am I worthy of the goal of having $1 million? Like, no. Is the goal of having $1 million a year worthy of me? You know, let's say, for instance, I wanted to be president of the United States. Is the goal of being president of the United States worthy of me? Not, am I worthy of being president of the United States? If I want to be president of the United States, I'm going to take all the steps necessary to make that happen, right? And it goes with anything else, right? And so it's the first thing is just deciding that you want to do something, and it goes for, you know, pretty much anything.
Yeah, it's about owning it, right? I mean, you're owning it. I'm going, and no matter what, I'm going to do the work. I'm going, I'm having it, etc. It's really about owning it. And I think, you know, often I ask people, what do you want? You know, and, you know, as a coach, that's what I'm asking. What do you want? I really want to know what you really want. You know, not what's easy or convenient, but like, if I could snap my fingers and you could have your life any way you want, what would it be like?
Yes.
And let's be real.
Yes.
And you know, people are afraid, like, to say it, like you said, but at the same time, it's about declaring it, and as scary as it is, that's, you know, use that fear as excitement and motivation to go what you want, because most things are really attainable, right? I mean, you did it. I mean, think of what you created for yourself at 16.
Right. And that was a reference experience for me, to where any other time that I was worried about whether I had what it took, I could always go back to that and remember, say, hey, remember that time that you didn't think you were going to get into this school and you ended up getting in? This is not going to be any different. Even for writing a book, you know, so many demons come up. It's like, am I worthy of writing a book? Like, you know, if I wrote a book, what would people think of me? What would my peers think? Would people read my book and tear it apart and try to come up with reasons why, you know, to discredit? But those are all in your head. And what you realize is when you take that step, everyone starts to say, "Oh, okay, you're the guy that wrote the book, so I guess we're gonna we're gonna listen to you now." And that's how it is for anything. If you decide, and a lot of times it's friends, if you say to your friends, like, you know what, I'm gonna start going to the library, and I'm actually just gonna start focusing on pulling my grades up, or I'm gonna focus on, working on Saturdays and working on my business instead of in my business. You're gonna find that a lot of the times, what's hindering you is that you want to be part of the in crowd instead of deciding that you're going to be the in crowd and everyone's going to jump on your bus.
That's a great way to put it. I love it.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. That's awesome. That's great. That's a really great way to articulate it. Like, I know, because everybody wants to be with the in crowd, but you're the
you are the party. You are the party. People want to get in on your party. Yeah.
On your boat, right?
Yeah.
On your yacht.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about entrepreneurship. So what was your major in college?
Yeah, my major, I did not pick the easiest major for me anyway. I majored in accounting and management information systems, which is studying like data. Basically, you read spreadsheets and you see what it means, and it helps you to make decisions. So that's kind of what my background is. Like the
analytical. Analytical.
Yep.
That's hardcore.
Yeah. It was not easy.
Yeah.
I studied something super hard that way. Nobody wanted to do it except for me. And actually, that's a huge tip because, with a lot of the students or any of the interns I ever talk to that want to get a job, I tell them to actually get good at what no one else wants to do, because then you're pretty much like invaluable to the organization because you're the only one that knows how to do something, and then now everyone has to come to you to learn how to do something.
Well, that's true. That's true. But you also want to love it.
Oh, absolutely. No. Yeah, you don't want to be stuck in a grunt or anything like that. But if you learn things and you develop skills, people will come to you for those skills, and that's how you become an expert.
Mm-hmm. I know. Well, I mean, look at what you created for yourself. I mean, you did this book. How old were you when you came out with this book?
27.
27? Okay. Wow, that's really young.
Thank you.
That's really young. You don't see too many 27-year-old authors.
Oh, yeah. It's and that's the thing. It's am I too young to write a book? No, it's really, if you've done the work, if you know what you're talking about, and you're willing to put it on paper, just put it out there. Everyone has something that they want to share.
Yeah, and it's about trusting yourself and knowing that what you have to offer is valuable.
Right.
And this is most definitely valuable.
Right,
now,
right.
So what had you take the route of, now you're, would you say consulting or coaching, or what would you say? How would you define it?
It's funny. Honestly, I call it both, because with the students, I'm coaching them. I'm just trying to, get the best out of them. And, when they tell a school that they want to go to their school, that they know how to communicate themselves, that they know how to basically demonstrate every reason why that school should accept them. And then with the parents, I'm more talking to them about how to get the most financial aid, how to send all their kids to college without getting into a lot of debt. Because when we're talking about paying for college is $25,000 to $75,000 a year if you're paying for tuition, books, room, and board, right? So the state schools are $25,000 a year. The UCs are about $35,000 a year. The private schools like USC and Stanford and Johns Hopkins, those are $75,000 a year. And if that sounds like a lot of money to you, just imagine what would happen if you ended up borrowing that money and at 6 to 12% interest. So it just adds up. So I'm trying to help them to understand how to get the kids in, how to maximize the scholarships, and how to pay for college without being in debt.
Okay. So how did you get into doing this? What made you decide this route?
Well, when I graduated, it was either going to banking and finance and things like that, or to do something that I really felt was part of my own journey. So it's a combination of education and finance. So I ended up working for a financial planning company, and they just told me, hey, if you can help our clients get scholarships like you did for yourself, you'd be a hero, because that way they wouldn't have to borrow the money, or they wouldn't have to spend their retirement and things like that. So I just got really good. I would say, okay, let me talk to your kid. Let me make sure that they know what they're, what schools they're applying to and what they're doing. And then it started to build from there. I would start to make so many huge successes that, word would get out. And then eventually I just started off on my own, and then it's been 7 years since I've been doing this. 5 years I've been doing it under my company. My company is College Funding Remedies, so that's collegefundingremedies.com. We just share basically tips and tricks on how to get scholarships.
Okay, great. So that's really cool. I love what you do. I love what he does. Hello. I just want to acknowledge a few of you before we continue, because I have some more questions. I have a few questions because we want to see how much money you've gotten all these people. Yeah, definitely. All right, so let's see a few of you that got on. So if you just got on, remember to share. Sharing is caring. This is valuable information for your loved ones, and so that you can save money and not have to spend your retirement, so your kid could still go to college and none of you will get in debt. So hello, Palia, Reina Leiva Gutierrez,
hey.
Christina Cupa, Maricela Limon, Liliana and Andrani.
Hey.
I hope it's Ivy Cerezo. Maricela Limon says, looking great, Miss Bing Bong. Thank you, Miss Bing Bong. Erica Virgen, Victoria Nunez over there in Montana. Hello, amiga. Let's see, Elsa Campos, Celia Garcia, Rodolfo Cortinas, my cousin over here in Boyle Heights. Nelly Rios Parra. Hello, Nelly. Happy belated 20th anniversary for you and Alvin. Sylvia Ornelias, Gracie Henderson, Rick Gamino, Francisco Limon Jr., aka Paco. Ivy Cerezo says, hi, señorita bonita Sandylu. Hi, Ivy. Saludos a la familia. Pedro El Caballero, hello Pedro. Anna Martinez co-authored a book with me.
Nice.
And she's also in mortgage loans, so if anyone wants to buy, refinance, sell, contact her, contact me.
Smart.
I'm also her agent. I didn't know if I told you, but okay. Sweet. So Christina Flores, Marina Encinas, hello Marie, Maria Encinas.
Hey, Maria.
Rosemary Garcia, Jane Lopez, Celi Estrada, Jesse Ramos. Hi everyone, thank you for all the love and all the hearts. Hello Veronica, I saw your face there. Anyway, send us love, send us your comments, your questions, etc. Remember to share. Sharing is caring. If you just joined, you can always watch it in the replay. And again, I'm Sandylu Guerrero of Life Trace Coaching, your transformational business and life coach. And this is my show, Transform Your Life with Sandylu and Friends, with my guest here, Trevor Ramos, author of How to Get Free Money for College. And he's going to give us some more tips. Hey, Rolando Castro. Rolando Castro was on my show too. He's a credit coach.
Nice.
So if any of your people, he would be a great person for you to connect with.
Some great people.
Awesome people. And you know, it's like, I like to refer people I know and trust and met too. That's a big thing for me. Because energy doesn't lie.
Right. You got to really be into what you're doing, and you know, it shows. Actually, you know, it'd be great if you've got a cousin, a nephew, your son, your daughter, go ahead and tag them into the comments, and that way they can watch this after it's been recorded. They can jump on the stream.
Yeah, and you know what? Any of you that are in financial services or even in real estate, you want to tag your clients. You want to tag your, you know, this is Trevor Ramos is a really great resource because you're working with these people and their life and their financial future. Their home is a huge investment. You know, all that stuff. You want to make sure that you connect them with Trevor. Trevor's a guy that he walks the walk, talks the talk, and he has proof to show you how much money he's gotten these people.
Totally.
So you definitely want to support your people. Connect them to Ramos and tag them on here. Share as well on your page. You won't regret it. All right. Hello, Veronica Corona says hola, hola. She's one of my best friends. Mirna Medina, Raul Avila. Hello, Raul. It's been a while. Hey. I hope your family's doing good. Your girls are doing good. All right. So now, Trevor, let's talk about the people that you've helped. Sure. So, how many families have you helped? Because the last thing I had heard was about over 200. Do you have a more current number?
Yeah. You know, it's funny because the first company I worked for, where I helped all these people, you know, I wasn't allowed to go back and, you know, go like talk to those people afterwards. So it kind of made it a little bit difficult. So under my own umbrella, I've done 120 clients, and then under a partnership that I did another 80 where I held them by the hand. So I like to say I've done about 200 by the hand, like held them you know, picked colleges for them, literally spent hours and hours and hours working with them and picking schools for them. So that's how it works.
Okay, so no, I totally get it. I did directly and indirectly in the thousands myself, so I totally get it, because I was under some other people as well. But you know, either way, it's changing lives. Changing lives. Hey, it's not about that. So now, total dollars. How much do you think to date that you have been able to get?
Okay, so I'm very, when it comes to promising how much money I've helped someone to get, or what I can help you get, I'm very, very keen on the numbers. So if you go to my website, you'll see that I've helped get about $14 million, and it will show you all the schools I've gotten students into and how much money that they've gotten. One important thing to keep in mind though, because this is important, when we're talking about, there's three types of families, okay? There's a family that has an income below $80,000 per year, and then there's a family that has an income below between $80,000 and say $180,000 per year, right? That would be like a middle income family. And then there's a family that has 180 plus, so up to $300,000, $500,000 per year. So my practice when I'm working with clients and holding them by the hand, they're generally middle income to upper income families. Those are the people that always say that they make too much money to qualify for financial aid, but not enough to pay $2,500 to $7,500 a month, right? So we want to look at that, because when you're looking at, say, a high school, or you're looking at a club, and you're looking at a school where a lot of their parents have really low income, they're going to have really, really high numbers. But it's a little bit different when you're working with someone who, you know, they own a business, they own a home, they own a couple rental properties, and those are the people that, you know, I will consult with personally and help them to get the money. Everyone reads my book, and I get success stories from all over, from people that have gotten, you know, $200,000, $300,000 in scholarships and grants to go to college.
Oh wow! So you've gotten a lot of money for a lot of people.
Right.
Now, what is one of your challenging cases where you thought, oh man, I don't know if I could pull this off, but you did? Right. What was one case?
I'll give you two. So that's a really good question. I don't get asked. Thank you for that.
That's because sometimes people think, you know, I think this also happens in the real estate world. People disqualify themselves before they even find out if they qualify,
totally,
right? You know, so I think it's the same thing. We do that to a lot of things, but this is just, I use that example because I'm in that world as well. So.
Okay, so I'll give you two different examples. So first, this is an example of a student where his parents, like, they wouldn't qualify for financial aid. They wouldn't qualify for need-based financial aid. So when I say need-based financial aid, I'm talking about FAFSA and CSS profile. These are financial aid forms. You fill out the financial aid form, and it tells you how much you are expected to pay and how much money you qualify for. This is one where even under everything that I would be able to do, that they still would not qualify for financial aid because of their family's finances. Okay, they're not well off, but you know, their income is a little bit too high. Well, this is where I had to take the students' grades, and I had to pair them up with schools that would be willing to pay just based on the grades. And then this was a student where basically I'd been working with him for 8 months, and he was very cagey at the beginning. And then finally one time he told me that he was gay, and I didn't know that. So what I did is I actually used that information, and I knew that there was a school, which was Tulane University, that wanted a leader in the LGBT community, and that they were willing to give this kid a full ride even though his parents didn't qualify for financial aid, just because they knew he'd be a leader. So that's an example of when someone like definitely wouldn't qualify for financial aid, and we have to get in the money based on the grades and based on the student's leadership. Another one is a student that she had a D in chemistry and algebra 2, kind of like me in high school, and then she also had, she was really shy, very reserved. You know, if you ask her questions, she's like, I don't know. And then she had test anxiety. So anytime you gave her an SAT, anytime you gave her any kind of exam, anytime you put her in an interview, she would lock up. So, you know, how do you make it happen for her? So basically, we had to really take our time with her, and she ended up, we picked a school, it was Woodbury, and she ended up getting $35,000 a year in free money to go there. And yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool case, because it wasn't one of those students, like a lot of people think that I just focus on students that have straight A's. It's not the case, actually. Like, I focus on all kinds of students, and if with enough time I can help them to get their grades up, which is the best. But this is a student where they didn't necessarily have the best grades, and they're still able to get a lot of money to go to school. that's kind of, those are the ones I'm really proud of.
Okay, yeah, that sounds really cool. I mean, it's because I think, and I'm glad that you're sharing this stuff, because this is what we do. We tell ourselves all the reasons why we can't do something before we start looking at, okay, instead of asking us, what can I do with what I have to work with, or who do I need to speak to, or what do I need to look into, especially now with social media. There's so much there's so much information that we could look up. Like any goofy thing I could think of, if I'm not sure what it is, I Google it, like there's so much information. But sometimes we disqualify ourselves before we even apply. We find all the reasons why not, and here by you sharing, people are getting to see, hey, there's a way. I mean, if you don't know unless you try. That's everything in life. So, he was able to help this very shy girl and this guy, that he was afraid of being, outed, and being gay, and that actually that was his gift. That was his key to the golden door.
He just stepped into it. Yeah, a very, very common thing in what I do is people say, hey, I make too much money. Income is a factor when it comes to getting scholarships and grants, but it's one of many factors, especially if you have more than one child going through the process. So, you can have an income of $300,000, $400,000, and you can still qualify for financial aid. So if you want to find out basically, when you fill out a financial aid form, it calculates what you're expected to pay, and that can tell you how much you're eligible for, okay? So one of the things I always tell people in my emails and everything is to find out what their EFC is. EFC is, if you were to fill out a FAFSA, it would tell you what you're expected to pay. And if you do a net price calculator of any school, say if you go USC net price calculator, and it'll estimate the financial aid offer that USC would offer you, right? So we want to do that as early as possible. If your kid's in the 8th grade, in the 9th grade, the 10th grade, you want to find this out. That way you don't eliminate USC or any other school from your list. So let me just repeat that, okay? One of the things that I highly recommend that you do is you do an EFC calculator. So that's EFC calculator. So Google that and fill it out, even if your kid's in the 8th grade, and it'll tell you what you're expected to pay per year for school, okay? Then the next thing I want you to do is a net price calculator. And then you just do a school. So say we're going to do Claremont McKenna College, or we're going to do University of Chicago. University of Chicago net price calculator, fill it out, even if your kid is in the 10th grade, and it'll estimate your financial aid. You might look at that and say, you know what, this is actually, they're going to give us a lot of money. So let's see if we can get in here, and let's go ahead and apply, rather than just saying, you know what, my income's too high, these schools we're not going to qualify for, let's just, do, a couple colleges that, we know we can afford.
Yes, no, that's good. That's good information. I'm watching who's on. I'm like, oh, I'm glad they're watching. Everybody's watching. Great, and my cousin Hector Dominguez, I think his son is actually probably in 10th grade, junior in high school right now. So it's a great time. It's a great time for you to connect with Trevor Ramos, and he could give you some great tips. You can hire him to be your consultant, coach, etc. for you. And
or you can get how to get free money for college, like a lot
or
of
you could get her book. Yes.
Yeah.
You can also purchase, and how could people purchase this book?
You can get it on Amazon. You can also get it at collegeplanningbook.com. That's collegeplanningbook.com. Or you can go to Amazon, type in how to get free money for college, and you'll get them shipped to you.
All right. Now, how much is the most that you've gotten for one person?
For one person? Okay. So, again, like when I explain this, you see, if all I was doing was working with students that, say they earn, like, the families that earn, like, under 100, they would all get, like, huge scholarships, because I know how to qualify someone who has an income under $100,000 to some of the top colleges in the country, as long as they have the grades to get in there. So what I'm working with, I have a student where he got $278,000 to go to 4 schools. He got into Tulane University, he got into Case Western, he got into Villanova. So that's one student, so like 278. College right now is about 280 grand. So if you're getting 278, that pretty much pays for like everything: books, room, board, meal plan, everything. Okay, wow. And then another one I'm really proud of is I got these twins. I'm really, really good with twins. So I always get a lot of twin girls or twin boys. So I have these twins right now. I think they're juniors at American University, and between the two of them, $372,000. So they do about 160-ish each, And yeah, they both go to the same school and they get a lot of money. And then what happens is after, you know, the second or third year, I'm able to give them a lot more advice to get them even more money. So that's my favorite thing to do.
Oh wow! So when you help them, so it's pretty much people that are going into college off of high school, right? Because you're not working with adults.
Right.
Maybe that's the next step.
Well, actually, a lot of the principles that I teach are applicable if you want to get an undergraduate education. If you are what's called a traditional student, which is someone that goes straight through high school, straight through community college, it's a little bit easier. But you can still, like, there's students that, you know, in their 30s, I have friends that, you know, in their 30s and 40s, and they want to start and go to USC. It's all fully available to you if you want to do that. And I love to see those things happen because there's nothing better than when you get a huge offer from a college. I focus on the 9th, 10th, and 11th graders and in the junior college students. And I like to get them before that they apply because one of the things I'm doing is I'm playing a lot of schools off of each other. If you notice, I'll say that this school gave them this much money and that school gave them that much money. I'm really trying to see who's willing to pay the most to get that student. And not always do my students go to the school that gave them the most money. It's not just about the money. It's about making sure that they understand what options are available to them. So I like to get them before they apply. Sometimes people call me when their kids are already in college and they're, hey, can we get us some more money? Or maybe we don't qualify. Can you see what happened? I'm able to do that, but I'm definitely the most effective right before you apply. So if you have a rising senior that wants to apply to colleges, that's like, you know, you got a small window to make it happen, but there's just enough time. If you have a junior, you got about 12 months before it's time to apply to college, and that gives you enough time to really make it happen.
Mm-hmm. And I think that, I mean, like you said, the sooner the better, because you're also coaching and guiding
right.
the students so that they could raise their grades if they need to, or maybe get into some extracurricular activity or that kind of stuff. So the sooner they connect with you, the better, because now you're going to guide both of them. Right.
And actually, can I touch on that? Because that's huge. You know, a lot of people think that, you know, you're smart. That's why you get straight A's. Like, no, you can actually teach a student, or they might say, I'm not good at math, or I'm not good at writing. You know, all these things can be learned. You know, if I have a student that's really good at math but isn't good at writing, then there's enough time to show them how to make sure that their writing is effective. If I have a student like me, like I didn't do well in chemistry, I didn't do well in math, but I graduated with a degree in accounting, right? That's because I had to actually learn how to study for math. And once you learn how to do that, you're pretty much a well-balanced student. And you have to learn kind of what level in terms of understanding you have to have if you're going to take an AP class, if you're going to take a community college class, and you have to be shown where you need to be at in order to get an A. So I'm able to show a student, this is the level you need to be playing at in order to get an A in an AP psychology class, right? This is how much you have to understand. When you read this passage, this is how much you're going to be tested on. And once you teach them how to do it, you get students like with me, where you catch them as freshmen and sophomores, and, you know, by the time they're juniors and seniors, they're taking 3-4 AP classes and they're getting, you know, A's and B's. I have a student right now, she's in the 9th grade. I gave her a chapter of AP psychology because she's super into psychology. I gave her a chapter to read, and she came back and I gave her the exam for it. After teaching her how to study for that class, she came back and she got 100%. 100%. She's going into 10th grade right now, right? And here's the thing. It took her 3 hours to study and get 100%. So now I got to work on her time management. Say, okay, now that you know how to study, now you have to learn how to study efficiently. And this is the stuff I was doing in the libraries, you know, between my junior and my senior year, which is what allowed me to get a higher grade point average. And it can be taught to anybody. I don't really believe in innate intelligence. I think that if you're taught how to study and how to handle yourself in the classroom, that's what's going to lead to your scores. And then you have to, you know, obviously have the right attitude, and you got to know why it's worth going and putting the effort. Why? Because you're going to be limited up at USC. You're going to graduate from one of the top colleges, and, you know, you're going to have all the credentials that are going to allow you to be able to choose what direction you want to go with your life, and you're going to be able to transition back and forth. If you get up one day and you say, you know what, I want to go to med school, right? It's one of the things I brag about. You know, I love what I do, but I try to tell like a student, like, if I wanted to go to med school, it would take me 1 year. It would take me 8 classes. And if I decide I want to be a doctor, I'm going to go and I go that route, right? So that's the kind of mobility that you have when you have a college degree. and it allows you, as long as you're not getting into a lot of debt for it, it allows you to be able to, you know, create the life that you want and to have any kind of backup plans that you want, you know, if you want to go into teaching, things like that.
Not only that, and now you're not focusing on how I'm going to pay this or stressing out about the debt, but now you're only focusing on getting educated and your future, not how am I going to pay my future, right?
Who's motivated by paying debt?
No. It's great when it's gone, but no, not really.
Yeah, totally.
Now, so we're getting closer. Like, I'm looking at time, so we have about 15 minutes, but so it goes by really quickly, like I've shared before. So just want to say hi to a few of you, and then if you have any questions, please make sure that you send them to us. But anyway, I'm happy to see that all you're jumping in. Remember, if you just got on, this is Transform Your Life with Sandylu and Friends. I'm Sandylu, and this is Trevor Ramos, my guest for today. And he's the author of How to Get Free Money for College, and he's giving us some great information and insight on how to get free money for college. And he has gotten a lot of people a lot of money, and he's gotten millions. Was it about 18 million?
14 million recorded.
14 million recorded on all the different families he's helped. So hello, Myrna Medina, let's see, Lupita Mesa, Jermaine Reed, Danny DeFranco, Alicia Duna, I'm sorry, I'm saying your name wrong. She's awesome too. She supports people in writing their book.
Oh, sweet.
She's a coach.
Yeah.
Gina Gonzalez, Mindy Ojeda. Hello, Mindy. She's starting her second year in college.
Sweet. Over
there in, forgot, up north in the boonies. What's that college out there up north in the boonies?
Santa Cruz?
not Santa Cruz. I can't remember what it is. Anyway, maybe she'll tell us.
Hector, tell us.
Yeah, Hector Dominguez, my cousin over there in the high desert. SB Acosta, Alma Rubio, Shannon Horton. Oh, I see Chela. Hi, Chela. I just saw you. Chela, you're as a financial planner. So, Chela, you definitely want to share this. You want to connect.
Oh, is that Chela?
Yes, and she.
That's Chela Diaz?
Yes.
Chela, what's going on?
I hope you're connecting the people to is she connecting people to you? Yes, because she's a great resource for you as well. I'm all about connecting people. Shannon Horton. Hi Shannon, how are you? He is a social media guru.
Sweet.
So I definitely want to connect with this guy to bring him on to one of our workshops for NLBWA. Frank Barcenas, Melissa Velasquez, I believe you're in the high desert too, old high desert friend. Choni Fuentes, Cesar Dinucio, Nena Guerrero, my sister over there, Miguel Contreras, another financial advisor.
Wow.
So you want to connect, Miguel Contreras, you want to connect with Trevor Ramos so you can be able to help your families even further by saving them money for college.
Yeah.
All right, so Mike Alfaro, my sister's boyfriend. Hello, Mike. Lupita Mendez, Martha Cristina Aguayo. So anyway, if you just got on, you can always get back on later. And watch it from the beginning, watch the replay. Remember to share. This is all about supporting you and creating an extraordinary life, and in this case, saving you a lot of money for college, giving you a possible free ride for college for your kid, for your loved one. So you definitely want to share. If you have any questions, comments, etc. during the show or after the show, please don't hesitate to reach out. Hello, Art Garcia. He has boys that I think are gonna are just starting high school or something like that. So Art, you definitely want to connect with
Awesome.
Trevor.
Awesome.
Okay, so now what are a few tips you could give to the student to start preparing, and then what we could give to the parents?
Okay.
So I guess we got to keep it kind of brief.
Yeah. Let's make it. Yeah. So if you're a student, okay, and you know, the first thing that I would recommend that you do is you just say, let's just put some colleges out there, right? Let's just say I want to go to UCLA, or I want to go to USC, or I want to go to NYU. Wherever you want to go, just put it down and put it on a board, put it somewhere where you can see, and tell your counselor that, tell your teachers that, and then what they're going to do is they're going to start telling you, if that's what you want to do, then you need to be doing this, and you need to be doing that. And basically the whole community will surround you in that goal, and you're going to start to say, okay, if I'm going to be sitting in these classes, I need to get the grade necessary so that I can go to USC, and that's going to motivate you and drive you. If you're a parent and you have the biggest thing with parents is this is something that happens really quickly, because I'm sure you can remember when your kid was born, and now they're, you know, in middle school, and now they're in high school. So what you want to do for them is you just want to encourage them to get involved in, you know, extracurricular activities. And really, you want to do that EFC thing I was telling you about. Say if your kid's in the 9th grade, again, go to EFC calculator, figure out like what you're expected to pay each year for school. It might be 0, I'm telling you. You want to find it out, okay? And then if your kid says UCLA, you go to UCLA net price calculator, and you can see, okay, this is what we would be offered. So now with the time that I have, I need to make sure my kid gets into UCLA, you know, has the grades, has the test scores, and then I know how much financial aid we're going to qualify for. And, you know, I would say that puts you about, you know, 60% of the way just to making that a reality, right? Because you have a school that you want to go to. Now you know what grades you need to get in order to do that. Now you know how much you would qualify for, and that's kind of putting you in the direction of doing it. The other thing is, I would highly recommend reading my book. It's How to Get Free Money for College. It's a step-by-step guide. Honestly, it gives you a step-by-step. It's not a book that's going to put you in a lot of different directions. There's a lot of things that I could tell you to do, but instead what I do is it's like we're going through a forest and I'm pulling you with me, and we're going the route that over 300 people that I've sent through have done, right? So just by going through the book, the first few pages is going to show you, it's going to be almost like you did it for the first time, and then when the real thing comes, you know everything that's going to happen.
Oh, that's good. That's a good, because this is kind of your guide, like instructions, and then you have someone doing the work with you. You know, not for you, but alongside you, because you also get to do your part. He can't do everything for you, but everybody got to do their part, right?
Yeah, I can't take the SAT for you.
Yeah, exactly. But he'll support you and guide you in how to get prep for it. I mean that's pretty hardcore help that you do. I mean, that's really.
Well, you know, it's not about tips. Like, it's not about spraying them with a bunch of information. It's about giving them exactly the path that they need to take. It's not about trying to impress you with everything that I know. It's about telling you step by step what to take and making it, honestly, it's the shortest path from point A to B. This is where you're at. You have a kid that wants to go to college. You want to help them to do that. And then this is, you know, Stanford. So how do we get from there to there in the shortest way possible? Well, you know, this book is going to give you the steps. I wrote it for someone that's in that position.
All right, Trevor. Well, I think this information is very valuable. Chela says it's a great book. She says, I highly recommend getting Trevor's book and sharing it. Yes.
Thank you.
So you got to start somewhere. So if you want to start with the book, or just contact Trevor directly. He's definitely a man who knows he knows what he's doing. I mean, he really knows what he's doing. He knows what works. And based on how much money, $14 million that you've gotten people over 200 families that you've been able to help. When getting over 200,000 for college, what 200 and what is it, 78?
278 grand. Yeah, just a couple of them.
That's a lot of money. So, you know, sometimes we don't want to do the work, and everything seems like, you know, it takes too much time, etc. But you got to consider what you put in to anything in life, you're going to get out. So, if you connect with Trevor, or you know, really surround yourself with people that are going to support you and are in alignment with your vision and purpose, it's really going to support you in propelling your life, and also not having to reinvent the wheel if you don't have to, right? So with Trevor, he already knows what works, so that's a really big advantage. And I know you give some guidance and consultation, right?
Yeah. Actually, you know what? You guys go ahead and friend me. You know, I have two profiles. I have a business profile and I have a personal profile. Until I get to my cap, I'm going to accept you on both my personal and my business. So you can go ahead and friend me and add me. And, you know, anyone that reaches out to me, you know, I'm going to chat with them. I'm going to see what I can do to help. I'm going to have questions. That way I can understand what's going on. So once I know enough about what's going on, I'm going to say, okay, do this. Just yesterday, there's a student that he was at Florida A&M University, and he just watched my video on YouTube, and he says, hey, can we talk? Yeah, I just want to talk. And, you know, I started asking questions. Hey, did you qualify for this? Did you plan on this? Did you do that? He's like, no, I haven't done any of that. So it really doesn't matter. That's what I'm here to do, is I'm here to help. I do webinars and I do speaking engagements. I'm speaking at the Flint Ridge Bookstore and Coffee House in Flint Ridge, locking out of Flint Ridge on the 24th of August. I'm going to be speaking there, talking about what's in my book. I'm always doing webinars and I'm always sharing information. So any way you know of reaching out to me, you can go to my website, collegefundingremedies.com. So we'll put it in the comments. You can go there, you can sign up. I'm always writing really specific emails that you can read, you can follow the steps, and it gives you, access to, any little things I'm doing, any webinars that I'm doing.
Yes, and then you can see also all the you post sometimes some of the award letters that you get for people, how much money to what college, which is really cool. I share them sometimes.
I'm honestly behind on that. Like I need to get back and start posting all my students for this year.
I know what's going on.
But I'm just handling all these people. I'm just trying to make it happen for them.
It's great, but you got to share it out there. Share it out there, motivate people because it's real. It's real. It's happening. You're getting people this money. This is like people's lives, like forever. They're what they a lot of people invest in college and it's a lifetime. I mean, it's not like you got the money and they finish school and it's over. Like what you're doing for them,
trajectory.
It's for their entire life and their families and their future families. I mean, it just goes on and on. So that's why I love what you're doing, and I share what you do, and I'm always referring people to you. Either they go or they don't, but I'm hoping that they do. Because it's really about creating an extraordinary life, and you're a great resource. So
thank you.
I really acknowledge you for what you do because not everyone takes on those journeys because you're an entrepreneur. That comes with challenges of their own. What is one entrepreneur tip that you can share with everybody here?
For an entrepreneur, you gotta have. I mean, it depends on what business you're in. Okay, if you're in the business of being an expert, or if you say you've got a body shop that you're running, I would say the number one thing is you have to have a plan. Too many entrepreneurs will wing it through the year. They'll say they might have this huge goal of what they want to do, and when it comes to, they don't have any micro goals to that. So every month, in order to maintain focus, you have to know what you want to accomplish the entire month. I'm speaking to a college admissions person, so she focuses on getting you into colleges, and I focus on getting the money. Tomorrow, all I'm doing is I'm reviewing her marketing plan. I'm reviewing her business plan, and I'm taking a look and see, okay, well, if this is what you want to have accomplished this month, I would do this first, I would do this second. But when I first talked to her, she had a lot of ideas, but it wasn't laid out in a plan. And once you have it laid out in a plan, like, you're pretty dangerous. That would be the first thing for an entrepreneur. From when it goes from dream to this is a business that I'm trying to run, you want to be really definite what you want to accomplish.
Yeah, definitely, and use all your resources. Sometimes we want to do everything by ourselves, right? Use all your resources. So yeah, and that was one of the great things that when I connected with you, you gave me some great tips, on getting who's my target person, who's I always remember that, and then I really started thinking about that because I'm thinking I'm a coach and it's life and I can coach anybody, that's what I'm thinking, and not trying to be arrogant here, but that's the work that I do. It doesn't matter young, old, rich or poor. Life is life, and I can support you. So, but when you do marketing, those are things you got to consider. So anyway, the great tip. But anyway, it's already going to be time. So I really acknowledge all of you for getting on, and if you share, thank you so much for sharing. If you're just getting on, this is I'm Sandylu Guerrero of Life's Choice Coaching, your transformational business and life coach, and this is my show, Transform Your Life with Sandylu and Friends. And today my guest is Trevor Ramos, author of How to Get Free Money for College, and sharing with us some great insight and information on how you can get free money for college. So you definitely want to connect with Trevor. So how can people get a hold of you, Trevor?
So you can give me a call, 626-657-7887. That's how you reach me. You can email me, and just go to my website and it'll have the email addresses and stuff like that. So just go to collegefundingremedies.com. Collegefunding, REMEDIES.com. That's my website. You can get my book either on Amazon by searching How to Get Free Money for College, or go to collegeplanningbook.com. And those are the ways to get into my community and to find out. Like I said, if you got any questions, feel free. You know, any questions you got. If you've got a kid that wants to go to a really good school and you just want some answers, I'm here to help. And you know, I'll take the call and I'll have a couple questions so I can understand what's going on, and then I'll say, okay, this is what I would do if I were you. These are the schools I would look at, and that's it's my favorite thing to do. This is my life's work.
Okay, great, awesome. So you definitely want to work with someone who loves what they're doing, because then they're going to do everything they can to help you. So you want to make sure you connect with them. So thank you all for watching us. Thank you everybody that jumped in. Henry, Henry Jimenez. Actually, it has Kathy's number, but hi, Kathy or Henry. Juan Nunez, Martha Jimenez, Louis Chavez, Diana Estrada. Hello, Diana was here last week. She's a money coach.
Oh, I saw that.
She's awesome. She's over there back in Northern California. She was awesome. So anyway, if you just logged on, you can always watch it in the replay. Remember to share. Remember, sharing is caring. Thank you once again for joining me on Transform Your Life with Sandylu and Friends with my special guest, Trevor Ramos. Remember that every moment's a new moment, an opportunity to create something different, something new, something extraordinary. You have a choice. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening. Thank you. Bye. It's a wrap.